When he comes in as what we call for a number 1 strike, it's basically from his strong side to his weak side, from his primary side to his secondary side. It's going to go diagonally, so from top to bottom. And there's a couple things that you can do from here. Go in with the number 1. What I don't like to do is I don't like to pass the blade. There's some people, and if you're trained in this, if this works for you, then great. But I don't really feel comfortable with trying to pass my own body with the blade, and you relate with that with some of those that you see. I'm going to step to the inside of him, and I'm going to grab his wrist. The reason, I wouldn't always say to grab his wrist, but from the attack that he's doing, it's very easy for me to do that. I'm getting both hands on. If I have another knife, I'm going to use my knife also as a block and have my secondary hand as a way from control. So you want to control the knife hand. So as he comes in with the number 1 slash, I don't have a knife, okay? The chances of you actually having a knife and him having a knife is very slim. I'm going to start where his bicep is, and I'm just going to sweep. I'm just going to have this sweeping motion with my hand coming to the inside of his elbow, okay? And I'm just going to continue to spiral down. I'm going to go with the angle that he's coming with, okay? It looks like it's a lot of force. It's not. The harder that he attacks, the easier it is for me to take him down. And all I'm doing is I'm just turning. If I'm an axle or whatever, I'm just going to be spinning. That's all I'm doing. Once he's on the ground, you have your options. Do you want to leave him with the knife and maybe take an escape, take off running? Obviously, there's different controls that you can do, depending on if you're comfortable with different with whatever arts you know. It's very easy for me to grab his elbow and force it the wrong way so that I get him to either turn over on his back, which I don't want him to grab my knee or my legs, so I'm going to twist away from him. If I don't want to put him on his stomach, I'm going to put my weight. I'm a pretty big guy, right? So you can imagine me putting all this force right onto his ribs, right here where his elbow is, or not his elbow, but where his armpit is. The other hand, I still got control. I never lost control once I gained it. All I have to do is just sink in on him. It's very easy for me to try and just take this knife away, okay? Obviously, I could tell you can smash him in his face, smash him in his ribs or something like that. But once you're in a situation where you have got, once you've got into a situation where you are now no longer defending yourself, well, if I have to cause him to start defending himself, now I'm going to get in trouble. And if it is a knife threat that's coming to me, I can justify that I can use deadly force. But the point is once I gained control, and he's no longer a threat, if I take the knife away and then I just jam it back into him, it's arguable, right? So that's just a basic technique that we do. I'll show you one more. For this technique, I'm having his back to you so that you can kind of see the angle that I'm coming in on. If you don't like the first technique that we did, for some reason, if that doesn't work for you, there's other options. And one good thing about our program is if you do come from an experienced background in a different martial arts, we're not going to try to cancel that out. If you're comfortable with doing a lot of fancy looking techniques or whatever it is, if you're comfortable with doing certain things, we're not going to tell you that you can't do it, okay? As long as your partner can cooperate with what you're doing and not get hurt, then that's fine. We're not going to overrule anything that you're doing. We want you to be confident in of what you're doing. If he comes in with that same number 1, it's going to come from his primary side, and he could aim for my neck, he could aim for my stomach, he could aim for whatever. But most likely it's going to be somewhere in my neck range, chest height area, that sort of thing. It's going to be very easy. What's a natural reaction? If he's going to come in, it's very natural to put your hands up like this. Okay, and that's why if you do an initial block, come in, my hands are still up. I'm protecting my face. And obviously whatever I'm going to do, I can go and smash his face, catch him with an elbow. There's a lot of different things I can do. But for this technique, it's going to be real easy. All I'm going to really do is just catch him. I'm just going to catch his arm. So I'm going to do it very slowly for you, and then we'll do it quicker. I'm just going to catch. Okay? And because I have control here, I've got control of his elbow, his shoulder, and I've got, most important, control of his knife. if I don't want to drive the knife into myself, I'm going to control this wrist, and I'm going to try and drive it into his own kidney. Chances are I'm not going to be able to actually do it because his arm will probably snap and he'll just probably crumble to the ground. So a little bit faster, we'll do it kind of like a slow speed. You know, there it is. We'll do it a little bit faster now. It's very simple. His balance is gone. If you guys think that he's just going to come around and hook me with this other punch, he's not. He's just going to be flying his arm around because I'm not going to sit here and wait for him. You know, we're not going to stay there. Okay, his balance is gone. Come in one more time. Once I have him here, I'm just going to imagine like I'm going to snap. Now I don't. You could snap his arm easily, but just think about driving his wrist into the kidney. And so, guys, whether you want to control him once you've taken the person down. Now, you may be a female, male, whatever the situation, and you might not necessarily want to have to wrestle with a guy. And I'm not saying that you're going to have to wrestle with somebody. The techniques that I've shown you, or the techniques that you'll be seeing, some of the basic ones that we do, they're so simple. And really all it comes down to is leverage. I really don't need any strength at all, and that's the beauty of it. Sure, you can really pry down his arm. There's a number of things. Once you get on the ground, you know, you can do arm bars and different you do judo throws and jiu-jitsu and stuff like that once you get on the ground. But for the average person that doesn't know those arts, we're going to teach you very, very simple techniques. It may look difficult, but I promise it's not hard at all.